Will the Hoosiers fire Mike Woodson before the season is over? What would benefit the team? I've said all along on here, February 4th would be my judgment day, and we're going to talk about all that and more on this episode. Let's get into it.
Pretty simple. I win.
For three on the way.
Hello, guys, and welcome to Indiana Sports Connection. I am your residential anchor, Aaron. Thank you so much for being here and being part of this community. So we got something to talk about today because everybody's been talking about whether or not they should fire Mike Woodson, they should bring in an interim coach. What would be benefit of that? Everybody knows my point of view on this, and we're just going to get into talking about that. I mean, I've seen every single channel. This is what they're talking about. And we're just going to talk about the pros and cons, what good could come out of it. And toxic culture. I mean, could that really be? That's what I think the word of the day is toxic culture. Could that be what is really put Scott Dolson over the hump to fire Mike Woodson? All right. We're finally going to get over the hump, but it's not the way that you thought it was going to be, right, Mike Woodson? All right. So if this is your first time here, hit that subscribe button down below. Hit that thumbs up button so we can get this video out to more Hoosier fans. The channel is growing super fast, and I thank all of you out there for that because we're on our way to 3,000 subscribers. And this channel is growing like a rocket ship on its way to 3,000. So all of you out there that are sharing the videos, you can follow me on X as well. And I'm getting more and more into X and all of that, even though I'm not even sure what that is or who that's for sometimes. But you can follow us there at Indiana Sports Co. On the bottom of your screen, there's the X. See, Hillbilly Monkey, I don't even know what these handles are. I've made a few different ones, and some of them are different. I need continuity, like Mike Woodson needs continuity with this team. I need continuity with these social app programs that I can't. And the channel is brought to you by BetUS. Use my promo code Indiana125 and save 125% on your first 3 deposits. Place your bets with BetUS. Thank you to them for sponsoring the channel. And 10% of the AdSense revenue on the channel goes to T2T.org. Without the veterans, we are nothing. But no matter how you're watching or where you're watching, it's Indiana Sports Connection. Share the video with your friends. Hit that thumbs up button. Across the country and across the globe, it's Indiana Sports Connection. It's coming right into your living room. Without further ado, let's get into talking about the Indiana Hoosiers. Alrighty, Hillbilly Monkey. So everybody's been talking about whether or not they should fire the coach. What are the pros and cons? I mean, I definitely see some on this side and some on that side. Partially, I mean, my mind has been partially changed by listening to Kent Sterling and thinking, yeah, what good could come out of firing midseason? I'll tell you what, it all boils down to this to me. It's is there a toxic culture inside the walls of Indiana? I don't really know that. I don't know if it seems like Mike Woodson to me kind of wants to befriend these guys a little bit too much. Doesn't want to. And that makes perfect sense from a guy coming from the NBA. I was thinking about this last night. It's in the NBA, you got your general manager. As the coach, you can't piss players off in the NBA and have them going to the general manager and saying, hey, I want out of here. The coach is riding my ass saying that, I got to weigh myself every time I leave and blah, blah, blah. I mean, unless that general manager is on the same page with the coach, I don't really know how all that works in the NBA. But it doesn't work like it does in college because in college, you just don't have that same type of structured setup. I mean, you maybe would think, well, Scott Dolson would be like the general manager, but it just doesn't work in the same way. I don't know how these relationships work with Mike Woodson. I don't know if there are guys that secretly are just I wish I wouldn't have never came here. I wish I wouldn't be a part of this. Teams I played on before. And we're also going to talk about a couple of the comments Mike Woodson made and thank you to 247 Sports. They put out this whole thing of Don Fisher's morning show or Don Fisher's show with Mike Woodson, because he has said some really stupid things on there talking about, well, let's pull the quote up. And I know Kent Sterling, he talked about this quote this morning too. So I don't want to make it like I am stealing this from him, but it had to be mentioned because I was reading through it on 247 this morning, actually, right when I was watching his show. And yeah, this is what he said on there about leadership. They've been tremendous, and they should be, because they come from tremendous programs, Arizona, Illinois, where they've had some success. Isn't this like the whole reason why this is just not working for Mike Woodson? It's like you're bringing these guys in just hoping. You're hoping that like somebody comes in that like you're just going to throw out there on the floor that like is just going to win you games. This is the reason why Mike Woodson needs fired. It's your job. You need to be working on this 365 days a year. Leadership with your players, leadership with yourself, leadership. Like, it's just not happening. Is there a toxic culture there? I mean, from the things that he says, like in a quote like this, it's like he doesn't understand that he is supposed to be developing these things with these young men. And he does not understand that. He thinks he's in the NBA dealing with like a 30-year-old dude that if you get up his ass and to the left about not playing defense, he's just going to say, well, I'm out of here. Well, you know what? You know what's happening in the NBA every single night? Not only are the players saying, I'm out of here, the fans in the NBA are saying, I'm out of here. It's obvious. Like in the NBA these days, there is no passion played. And good for college basketball. I've always thought that. I've always been a college basketball fan and a NFL fan in football, because college basketball just has so much more passion, so much more love of the game. And yeah, I always watch, the NBA playoffs and all of that stuff. But you're going to see me turning on an NBA game and giving a shit, because, I mean, even more so now that the players don't even care at all. And you bring in, I'm rambling, hillbilly monkey about this, and I said I wouldn't do that. Yeah, Mike Woodson, you are supposed to be leading leaders. Lead leaders. I'm sorry, but it's too late. The pros and cons of like firing him. I mean, who would you bring in? Most people are saying Calbert Cheaney, Jordan Halls. We have these guys. There is like in the back of my mind, I want to see what this team can do with Mike Woodson if he gets removed from the situation. I feel like it's his daily slowness that just it sees out of him, and he can't do anything about that. He is who he is. Like, he's not going to just all of a sudden have all this fire and all this pain. I mean, in the ways when I say to fire him just because of how slow he is and how he's like not getting it, I feel bad for Mike Woodson. I really do have compassion for this dude. I mean, I don't want to sit here. I mean, I've been sitting here in this chair ripping this dude a new asshole for like the last year, and it has to end at some point. But I really think, and I saw this in a comment, like, do you think Dusty May, do you think when he comes in after, because look, these next two games on the road at Purdue on Friday, we'd be lucky to keep that within 30 points. And then when we play at Wisconsin, that Max Klingen, like I can never remember how to spell his name, but that dude, for some reason, he will turn into like Michael Jordan when he plays this Indiana team that does not guard the 3-point line. It's like players just can't wait to play us because we play three big guys. We're going to play Renew, Balo, and Mbako. We really play three bigs that can't guard. Like, we play three big guys that cannot guard around the perimeter. That's what Maryland did to us. Their guards scored 58 points. 58 points their guards scored out of three guys. And those three guys made all their three-pointers, and that's the reason why Indiana lost that game. We can't guard guys around the perimeter, and we don't coach good guard play. So leave your comments down below. Tell me, like, do you think Mike Woodson should be fired? I got February 4th is the day I've had marked for quite a while because, like, would they fire him before that Michigan game at home if we get blown out in these next 2 games? I don't know. I mean, if you look at this, if a picture could tell 1,000 words, this picture right here of Scott Dolson looking up at Mike Woodson is like just pure comedy gold. I mean, this dude didn't hire Mike Woodson. And the more I do like feel compassion for Mike Woodson, but the more I think it's like the guys behind the scenes that put Mike Woodson in this position, they as much need to be held accountable as anybody. I mean, I don't see at this point, we got over a month left in the season. We got like 10 games left. We're 5-5 in the Big Ten. I can see it both ways, but leave your comments down below. I can see it like let Chaney coach the team and try to get some type of fire. I don't think he has the personality for the job. Maybe if Dolson knows Dane Fife and you wanted to see like a trial run of a guy, like maybe we could see. But then you put him in a bad position coming in. If it's a toxic culture, like, is he coming in to fix everything? You know, did anything good come of Jeff Saturday being hired to the Colts? I don't think so. That is all I have for you today on this episode of Indiana Sports Connection. It was just a rambling episode. I just keep ping-ponging back and forth in my brain about what do we want to see here? Will there be a benefit to firing Mike Woodson early? The jury is out on all of this, though. What do you think they're gonna do to him? Do you think they're gonna fire his ass?
Carved from the sands of the Wabash River and formed into a monkey lamp that's sold at Home Goods. It's the Hillbilly Monkey Perspective on Indiana Sports Connection.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. It wouldn't surprise me if they fired him. I mean, I'd fire him. You know, we would have probably fired him last year when it was just proven that he didn't know how to coach. And even the first 2 years after he get rid of Dane Fife and Thad Matta after those first 2 years, and then you could tell team was struggling on defense more and more as time went on. I think I'd fire him and just give somebody else a chance to maybe bring some of the fans back into it and let this guy walk away with a little bit of grace if he can even do that.
That's true. I mean, I've thought about that too. Like, if he could walk away with a little bit of grace, that would be beneficial to everybody in Indiana basketball, that he would just retire on his own and say, you know, I don't expect him to apologize, but just say, you know, he tried his hardest. I do believe he is trying his hardest to do things in the way that he knows how to do them. Like, he's just not, you can just tell. I mean, just like Archie Miller when he was there, he was banging his head against the wall, trying to get something out of these guys. And you could just tell he just couldn't do it. And we got another one of those. We need to move on. I mean, mentally, we've already moved on. So that also creates a toxic atmosphere for the fans being there. Like, if you're going to have fans booing and rooting for Dusty May on that game on February 8th at Assembly Hall, mark your calendars. That's going to be one. It's going to be his homecoming. And I don't know. I just don't know like how all of this is going to go, because the fans, there is toxicity in the fan base because people just want Mike Woodson gone, and I hear it every single day. So thank you so much. Tell me what you think, because I'm trying to come up with what are we going to be talking about this week, because we got games coming up where we're going to look really, really bad if we don't show up to these games. I mean, really, really bad. And it could get really ugly. I heard somebody say this the other day. It's like, it's getting early late. It is. It's not even February, and these fans, they're like sharks, like circling. I'm telling you. And Mike Woodson's not making it any better for himself. So what should happen? I don't know. I wish I did. Thank you for joining me on this episode of Indiana Sports Connection. And until next time, stay classy out there, Hoosier fans.
Believe Believe it or not, Hillbilly Monkey's not home. Please leave a message and a beep. If I were home, I'd pick up the phone. Who could it be? Believe it or not, I'm not home.
Hillbilly Monkey, I'm at the store. I don't have my phone charger. Please pick up. Bring me my phone charger. Please. God damn, I know you're never going to answer. Pick up the phone. Pick up the phone. Damn it, I'm going to do this myself.